My guest is, Momodou Sabally, Sabs, I call him. And many people actually call you Sabs.
Absolutely,
yeah.
without a doubt.
Who gave you that short form of your name?
You know, if in Dongola, like every long name has to be shortened. I'm sure at some point all in the P.
Yeah.
Mr. P.
Actually, my wife actually calls me P.
There you go, how romantic.
And then, others call me Pete. and all of that. Good to have you back here.
Thank you.
I've already started receiving comments and questions for you. We'll get to that.
They are most welcome.
But the talk of the town, the Jame assets.
Yes.
I said in introducing you earlier that you worked with Jame.
Yes.
So you would have an idea of what he legally owned or didn't own, because I was trying to ask Madi whether we might have seized far too much. I mean, the man could not have been president for 22 years and not legally own anything. I gave my example. Lowly me. I have a house. At least I have a car and a few other belongings.
Okay, thank you and welcome everybody. So I just want to play new video young. Actually audio lang. Sabally's interview on coffee time. I think it is from today. So I'll be doing this with some analysis. Okay, so welcome and have fun.
You think in taking away, we might have taken away too much?
Peter, I would not go into...
And just to make this clear, I'm playing this for some specific topics that I'm interested in, some specific topics that are of national interest. That literally, one of them actually has nothing to do with the Jane Commission or Sabally or any other person. So, interesting stuff.
The nitty-gritties of it.
Okay.
But the principle of it is what's at stake. This is a messy situation, and we cannot treat it as a silo. We are going through a messy, difficult transition. And this Jane Commission is just one of the commissions that were set up to see us through this jungle in this exodus to the promised land where we've not reached yet. So we must never forget that. Regarding Jame and his assets, I testified at the Jane Commission. I cannot tell you what he legally owned or what he did not legally own, but your premise is definitely plausible that Jame would own a thing or two, either from his salary or gifts. But I'm not here to defend Jame.
Even inheritance.
Absolutely. What I want to make clear here is I'm not here to defend anybody. I am for the truth. The problem with the transition process, especially the Jane Commission, is that we rush into these things with emotion when reason and due process should have guided us. This is the problem, Peter. Regarding these assets, some of us, I am on the record, on Facebook, on YouTube, on radio, that the way Jame's assets were handled was wrong. Due process was not followed. They sold some of these things at a pittance, shared some of these things. I said the Jane Commission was not doing things right. I said Tambedu, as the leader of this whole process, is doing everything wrong, and he would go down in history as the worst Attorney General and Minister of Justice in the Gambia. These are the statements the protesters themselves are sharing, and some of them, like Mamadi Kurang, they think that I would disavow these statements because I'm in government. Momodou Sabally, individual, not in any official capacity. Whatever I said about Tambedu and the Commission, I still stand by it. And all I am interested in is the truth, not name calling, not finger pointing, not trying to use this situation of young people who went out to make a legitimate demand for a list. And we have some individuals with political ambition trying to use that for their personal benefit, Peter. That is
You think this has been politicized?
I don't think I know, and there is evidence. Peter, I was on Hero on QTV on Thursday. At the height of the matter, I said, I believe the list should be out, yes. Do I agree with the protesters going out with a permit? Peter, I think it's wrong to protest by law, to protest in this country without a permit, and I stand by that to date.
But that is said to be constitutional, unless you don't use a loud hailer or, huge speakers.
It is not for you and I to decide that. It's the courts. And what is in the locus classicus here is that those who've done it have been found guilty, and those judgments have been upheld up to the level of the ECOWAS court. My position is it's illegal, and what I say, and this is, I'm going to use this opportunity to talk to the young people. You applied for a permit, It was not granted. Reapply, go and negotiate. We've done that before, even when I was in UDP. Some people have said that the government has persistently refused requests for permit for protest against corruption. I said it's a lie, because I, as part of UDP, we requested a permit for protest on corruption. It was granted. People like Mamadi Kurang, who is a person of interest in this matter, who should actually recuse himself from this protest and gala.
He should recuse himself.
He should not
take part in it.
Kurang,
on the basis of what?
Kurang himself, his position is that the Jane Commission disposed of this
Hello, Mr. Kurang. 1 second. Hello, Kurang. 1 second. I'm trying to have Kurang here. I think I need to call him on. Let me call him. Let me call him. Kurang, if you need just hold on there. Let me just call you back. Because Kurang is directly mentioned here. Kurang, come here. Hello? Yeah, I will have to. I'm trying to call you. Okay, you just have to hold on and I call you back. I have to call you. I think that's the way it's gonna work. If I call you, you're gonna be fine. Hello? Okay, don't worry. Let me call you again. I have other means to call you also. Kurang, hold on, call WhatsApp. Hold on. Just hold on. Yes, Kurang. Hello, ndele be call nu kanung what ndele be call ko wani falam, okay?
Yeah, wani fa. Okay, be call kam
yeah, I may call can on messenger. But first I will try to call you back again. But just in the interest of fairness, nyimbe abote akela to for dame. I just want to play it back for you. You listen to it so that we can come to the response.
No problem.
Okay, just let me know. I'm gonna revise here.
On Facebook, on YouTube.
This Sabally audio clip, yeah, Moila.
On radio, that the way James assets were handled was wrong.
Yeah, Moila. Okay, now you stay put me you continue like play. Then you listen. You post on Raketo for and I'll also forward it a little bit. I think at the minute 20 Raketo for like. So here we go.
Due process was not followed. They sold some of these things at a pittance, shared some of these things. I said the Jane Commission was not doing things right. I said Tambedu, as the leader of this whole process, is doing everything wrong, and he would go down in history as the worst Attorney General and Minister of Justice in the Gambia. These are the statements the protesters themselves are sharing, and some of them, like Mamadi Kurang, they think that I would disavow these statements because I'm in government. Momodou Sabally, individual, not in any official capacity. Whatever I said about Tambedu and the commission, I still stand by it. And all I am interested in is the truth. Not name calling, not finger pointing, not trying to use this situation of young people who went out to make a legitimate demand for a list. And we have some individuals with political ambition trying to use that for their personal benefit, Peter. That is
You
wrong.
think this has been politicized?
I don't think I know, and there is evidence. Peter, I was on on QTV on Thursday. At the height of the matter, I said, I believe the list should be out, yes. Do I agree with the protesters going out with a permit? Peter, I think it's wrong to protest by law. protest in this country without a permit, and I stand by that to date.
But that is said to be constitutional, unless you don't use a loud hailer or, huge speakers.
It is not for you and I to decide. That is the courts. And what is in the locus classicus here is that those who've done it have been found guilty, and those judgments have been upheld up to the level of the ECOWAS court. My position is it's illegal, and what I say, and this is, I'm going to use this opportunity to talk to the young people. You applied for a permit. It was not granted. Reapply, go and negotiate. We've done that before, even when I was in UDP. Some people have said that the government has persistently refused requests for permit for protest against corruption. I said it's a lie, because I, as part of UDP, we requested a permit for protest on corruption. It was granted. People like Mamadi Kurang, who is a person of interest in this matter, who should actually recuse himself from this protest and gala.
He should recuse himself.
He should.
He should not take part in it.
Kurang,
on the basis of what?
Alaji Kurang himself, his position is that the Jane Commission disposed of these assets without following due process. He was part of them. He did sell some of these assets. So he cannot be a referee and a judge. He should recuse, but he is trying to gain political capital out of this. What my brother did, Bob Keita.
Okay, Kurang, that's two parts about you. Okay, let me jump to another part. I think at minute 20, he did make some another allegation. Let me see if I can get this correct. Otherwise,
it's important, like the FGM issue or other settings. I think we need to be serious and stop making these cheap political points. I just want to commend them for joining the President Barrow-led NPP bandwagon to establish the truth and address the errata. I want to commend them for that. So now we are all on board. Where is the beef? Let us be patient. You know, Peter, what I like about PDIS, I will always commend them for this.
What?
Their insistence on rule of law and due process, regardless of the circumstances. Let us temper down our emotions. Allow the parliamentarians to do their job and establish the truth. I want to advise the young people to remain calm and to remain law-abiding, that we cannot pick and choose which of our laws we should respect and abide by. We are all one. We are all brothers and sisters. Everybody is affected in this. Let's take it easy and let due process be allowed to flow.
The UDP was in Farafenye at the weekend, and some of the things they said there, were not charitable towards the government and President Barrow in particular.
Regarding what?
What we are seeing, the way the police handled the protesters, especially in Banjul, being signs of the country, slowly marching towards a dictatorship again.
So it's cheap propaganda. Anybody who knows President Barrow knows that he's law-abiding. He's not
Adversely, Jane Commission mentioned person in office, in fact, in high places. Finally, ask him if, in the light of all the above, it is not hard to clean what you yourself believed and called dirty. Goodness me. I don't think I can remember everything I just read.
I remember everything.
Yeah.
I think I must commend him for his...
Keren Kafo.
I must commend him first for his lyrical dexterity. Sounds like a poem. I love good language. Yeah. Peter, I was in UDP.
Okay, Mr. Kurang. Yeah, okay, obviously. So, I think but in essence, I got but in essence, I meant for he said you sold the trappers. So, before I get your response, I just want to ensure that people are hearing you well. Audience, if you are hearing Mr. Kurang, can you just let me know? Because I'm thinking of another alternative, Kurang call on Messenger, wherein we will be hearing him directly from the device, to live, and then the audio quality will be much more improved there. So, Kurang, if you don't mind, instead of you call...
Let's continue the conversation. I told you there is no light here and batteries are going down. So
okay. You can go ahead.
So let's continue. You can record it clearly and play it.
Okay. Yes. Go ahead, Mr. Kurang.
Yes. One thing is important. When you want to discuss the report, you should know what you are talking about.
Yeah.
Now, it's the Republic Article that brought out all these things, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes. So, and the Republic quoted me, isn't it?
Yes.
And they also brought information about all the sales that take place, and then the part which I have played, they explain it clearly. They explained that if Mamadi Kurang sell 43 tractors and recover 10.5 million, these people sell 154, and then they recovered only 2.5% bigger than Mamadi. So that shows you stealing.
So let's be precise here. How many tractors did you sell?
That's what I mean. When people want to discuss a report, they have to see what they are talking about.
Yes.
So the figure I am quoting, I'm referencing directly
From
the
Republic, yes.
article.
Yes.
Yeah, that's one. So it is very clearly stated there. You know, I should not come on social media and start teaching people what is in the report. If I assume that anybody...
Yeah, he should have done his homework about that. That one is on him.
He didn't read the report. The
Yes.
boy is jumping. He doesn't have time to read a report. He is dull. You understand what I mean? He didn't consume that report. If he consumed that report, he would not say what he said. Swandi exactly mentioned that if I sell 43 or something tractors, look, the number is so important. There are very important details in whatever I did in the commission that will be talked about. Right? If I sell 40 something tractors and these people sell 150 something, and Swandi said these people, the money they make is only 2.5% bigger than mine. When they sell 3 times more tractors than mine, 300% more tractors than mine, they only make 2.5% more money. The difference between me and them, that is like 297.5% more tractors they sold than me. So this is statistics. It's in the Republican.
Yeah, okay. Mr. Kurang, I know you are very, you understand this very well because you were involved, but you also read the report. But just to simplify for our listeners, you sold like how many tractors?
Listen to me. Sabally went to coffee time.
Yes.
In 5 years, I've never been invited to coffee time to explain anything about my side of the story. I don't know why. They have called every kind of politician in the country. Maybe what I've been talking about, Peter never liked it.
Okay.
So I've never been invited in 5 years. Today I see him go there. But what I know, let me tell you, he is the person of interest. What Mamadi sold, 43 tractors, 10.5 million and deposited in central bank. Clearly, all of it was transparent. It was an open bid. The whole country was aware because the mafia didn't like the open bid. They wanted tractors. They wanted tractors to take them to KMC. I said no. This will be an open bid. You understand what I mean?
Yes.
The open bid, I did it in front of the whole Gambia.
Thank you. Thank you for that. We appreciate that.
We sold one tractor for some tractors we sold for 1 million. Some tractor we
Wow.
sold for 800,000. Some tractor we sold for 500,000. These people went and sell how do I call it, Pajero, latest Pajero for $5,000. They stopped, the open bid stopped. The day I left the commission is when the open bidding stopped.
Okay, okay, thank you. So their own methodology was a restricted tender or a closed one, yeah?
Some are even worse than that. Some are no more than closed. More than closed. I don't know what word you have more than restricted and closed. Is there any word more than restricted and closed?
Forbidden.
I'm very happy you call me. I'm very happy you call. You know, I like to talk to people who are fair to me. I don't, I never, politically I've argued with you many times. And we agree to disagree. I am not a subject of this investigation. You know why? When I was dismissed from the commission, Surahata Jane and his commissioners and Ami Bensouda and Batambedu, they investigated me for almost 20 to 25 days.
Yeah, all your transactions and your official functions. They investigated you.
Every single butut I did, they investigated me. They told me if we find one butut missing, you are going to mile 2.
Wow. Wow, that's a new revelation. We never heard of that.
That is why a lot of people are worried. When they told me that, and I went to Batambedu's office, and he told me, you need to reply to the customers. I told him I've done with that. What I have not taken cannot take me anything alone to justify. As a secretary, I was in charge of the assets. I had everything that they have collected, everything we have investigated, whether it's bullets from Yajame's office, whether it's golden guns, whether it's jewelry, whether it's any single item. I was investigated, and it was counted to the single bullet. It was counted to all the.
Wow! So you guys were in possession of you recovered bullets as well.
No, Wonderful, don't go over things which are already in the Fatu network media. Everybody
no, excuse my ignorance, Garamo. Excuse my ignorance.
Don't delay the conversation. You want information, brother. You are privileged. Take it.
Okay, thank you. Let's move. Oh, yeah, Tonyana, but just excuse my ignorance.
So, I was, when I was maybe terminated on the 10th, it was on the 25th, I left the commission, or 20-something, I don't know. So, almost 20 days, they didn't find nothing.
Okay.
And there are records for that. Because they know, and I know, if I was found one thing, I would never have been talking to them. Maybe I would have been in mile 2.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
Because of the circumstances at that time. You understand?
Yeah, I understand.
This is Gambia. It happened to many people. I always used to say in the commission, nobody will perform by me.
And what do you mean by that?
What that means is that you investigate the mafia, you found them wanting whatever, and then they come back and then find you with a needle that is missing, and then they take it against you and implicate you. That's what happens in the Gambia a lot of time. God help me. They could not implicate me. So I walked away in peace. If Surata, Ami Ben Sura, Batambedu, Baimasen, and Abios's accountants and the best lawyers in this country investigated me on no friendly terms, and I left. Anybody who wants to go in deep into that, you're just bullshitting people, or you're wasting your time.
Yeah.
Let us talk about Momodou Sabally. He was in the commission. I'm telling you, wonderful. Go and search.
Yeah.
There is an audio, there is a video where he told the commissioners that a certain amount of money he would like to testify in closed camera. In camera, they call it, right?
Yeah, in camera, yeah.
He requested for it.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for bringing that up again. Thank you. Thank you for reminding us that.
It was granted. And the issue was, how did he account for $1.5 million he withdrew in cash, in hard currency? So
if just to be on the same page, it was about the 1.5 million that he wanted to appear in camera, behind the scenes.
It was a particular, there were so many withdrawals on his side, but there was a particular 1.5 million which he said he couldn't explain in public, and he said that on camera. The video is there. Go and search all the videos.
Oh, wow. Kasongo should be quiet.
Now, when you see that, after you see that, then you will go back and ask him whether, yes, he did that in camera. He did it in camera. It's a special session in camera where only commissioners and people are. Now, ask him, what evidence did he give? That will be very interesting.
Yeah, and in your defense here, I know I'm not intervening here because you requested me, but we are having a conversation. I just want to put this out there. So that's why some people need to understand why you cannot come public about certain issues. Because, for example, whether you were present there or not, you had access to documents, you had privilege of interacting with people. You could have revealed some of those things, but that's not even a patriotic thing to do.
No, I don't have to reveal.
Exactly. So just to put that out there, why you cannot come out public on some issues. Some will be saying, let Mamadi come, let Mamadi speak, blah, blah, blah. These are some of the things that are at stake.
Wait, let me listen. That's why I said, even some of the so-called big radio and TV stations, they don't think like you, so I'm talking to you. You understand what I'm saying?
Thank you for trusting me.
I am the only one among the commissioners and the lawyers who signed, who swear to the oath of secrecy. None of them, Ami Bensouda didn't swear to any oath. When I asked her, why don't you swear to Quran? She said, I swear to Quran many times before. Surata, Baimas, and they swear, but they swear the oath of allegiance, which I also swear, but I had an extra swear in front of the President of the Republic, oath of secrecy.
Oh, wow. Wow. Wow.
You understand?
Yeah.
So, everybody in the world knows Momodou Sabally gave evidence in camera.
Yeah.
It's on record. And it's a public record now. And even if it comes out, it's a public record now. It's no more. He can go and say what he said, what he did with the money. He is the person who I heard him saying, oh, Kurang should keep quiet. He wish I keep quiet. But I cannot keep quiet on information which is public. He gave in public, he said he wants to speak in camera, in closed doors. Now he should tell people that he is the interested party in this commission. I'm not an interested party. So
you were an official. He was the person of interest and subject of investigation.
That's right. And then when I left, I did not go around telling people, oh, here is the evidence. I respected my professionalism. I did it. But I said that, yes, there was corruption going on. And now people see that corruption is going on. I didn't have to tell people, here is this man take $2, this man take $1 million. I didn't have to say that at that time. Now all the evidence is out and more evidence will be out. Why do I need to have to go and clear myself when I'm already investigated to death by the best lawyers and accountants of this country? Why am I wasting my time?
Nkaramo is clean. Let him try. The guy Nkaramo is clean. He's clean as a whistle.
Let him bring it on. Let nobody even worry about that.
Yeah. No, Mr. Kurang, I don't know, you would not like me to go back on this, and I'm not seeking your opinion. But like for me, I'm definitely, I find this very captivating that you were able to solve that for the 3 tractors for 10 million. Like, you are just exceptional. I want to say a very big thank you. You can continue, but obviously.
Let me tell you one thing. Every single tractor we sold, my team sold under the most transparent condition the Gambia ever had in bidding. You know, that is even what caused all this. The mafia didn't even know that some of these assets could fetch money, but they didn't realize that when it is transparent, it can make money for the state. When it is not transparent, it makes money for them.
Thank you.
For individuals.
Thank you. That is absolutely true. Absolutely true.
Let me give you one example. In front of the whole Gambia, we went to Kanilai, and we instituted a bidding process for a tractor, and people pay, and it's on record, it's on video. Some people have it on video. It goes open. Some people paid. A particular person paid 1.2 million for a tractor.
Wow.
And that person is even angry with me. Why? Because if I had compromised and take money under the table, that tractor would have been sold for maybe 200,000.
Nkaramo, thank you. We are proud of you, because we know from their list that they have been selling tractors for 100,000 or 2 maximum. That's what they have been selling tractors for.
You will see, that's a lie. That's a lie. The Gambians will see when they call me in Parliament. There's nothing I will hide in this country.
I think that will be a good idea to relieve you of the burden that you are under right now, because you took that so-called oath of secrecy. If the Parliament actually summons you, I think that will be a very good opportunity for you to just come out clean.
I think when Parliament summons me, anything I have will come out.
Yeah. Now the ball is in their court.
I'm not going to go into a newspaper that they have invited me for 10 years, for 5 years, and then I go there because Momodou Sabally go there, who took 1.5 million, put it in his pocket, and then went around and then gave an explanation. I go back to the same radio. I say I'm competing with Momodou Sabally. Let them go and ask Surah Jane or Ami Bensouda whether or Bachambe whether Mamadi is clean or not. I don't need to hear that from any journalist. I don't need to go to any journalist to prove that.
Yeah.
And they can keep talking about it. And this is the statement I will keep telling them. Brother, what I tell you just now, you can broadcast it. You can tell anybody.
Yeah, we are live on Facebook. Actually, like about 90 people are listening to you, and I will try to extract the video and also share it on other platforms, and especially your own part. I will share everything. Nañ ko partagé.
Wow. This is for truth fighters like you that can just get this kind of statement from me, brother.
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Nkaramo. Definitely, you are doing an absolutely.
I've also seen the work you have done. Yes.
Yeah, you know what I admire the most about you, yeah. The fact that you are a by profession. Correct me if I'm wrong. You are a certified accountant, right?
I'm a chartered accountant.
Sorry, chartered accountant.
Since 1999 for 27 years.
For 27 years, Alhamdulillah, mashallah. So you see, and then.
And I'm also a trained economist like Momodou Sabally. He's not an accountant. He doesn't know anything about accounting.
Accounting long.
Because they go to Yajame, they say they are financial experts. To be a financial expert, you need to know both. He only knows.
Man accounting long, man economics long. But na economics teacher do, I knew for nyala ko. In a balanced institution, accountant on ya sindi jang, ibe economics or sindi la dalal. So the fact that you have both is like, you are.
I'm a chartered accountant. I'm a trained economist. It's only 1% you find it normally, but it's nothing to brag about. Not only that, I've been teaching both subjects for 25 years. Momodou Sabally only know half of the knowledge. He's just an economist. He doesn't know anything about accounting. So, but that doesn't matter. We know he tampered with money. Let him come out and tell people, me, I've been investigated by Batambil. That's why Batambil can't get me. And then, whatever I want, I can say. I've been investigated by Surahata. I've been investigated by Ami Bensouda. My communication with them is there. It's all in the files in the ministry. What the letters I wrote them, more than 20 pages of letters in those 10, 20 days before I left the commission. It's all there. And people saw it.
Mother of record.
I have nothing else to prove. They can go whether Mamadi is clean or not. The people who fought me and took me out, will they take me out when I'm dirty? By now, they would have broadcasted everything.
Okay, I just want to have you on, if you don't mind, can you share with us, have you been in contact with the parliament formally about your potential appearance before the parliament?
No, there is no parliamentary legislation to say that there is a committee.
No, I mean like they have not in any way contacted you to possibly come and deliberate on this issue.
No, what I mean, they have not set up any structure yet.
Okay. So we still have to wait.
If they do, we will wait and see if there will ever be, whether they will vote it in successfully. If they do, and set up an inquiry committee, yes, and I'm sure they will be one of the people they will be prepared to talk to.
Yeah, absolutely.
The secrecy will end there.
The gloves are off.
I can't end a secrecy in a radio station.
No, you are a professional, and we respect that. No.
I've been 8 years. This has been an 8-year-old story. Did I say something I'm not supposed to say?
No.
For 8 years, no matter how angry I am. Who said I am angry? I'm not angry. I'm a professional. I can deal with anybody, enemy or friend. I just deal fairly. I treated Momodou Sabally fairly. I respected him. He should come out and tell people. Yesterday I heard him on the radio. He was saying he built 2 houses for his mother. That means how much did he build for himself and his wife? And he must have submitted, all the people who were investigated submitted a declaration of assets. He had declared his asset, and commission has not seized any asset from him. And yesterday he's bragging that he has 2 houses just for his mom. Then how many houses? When did he build that? When he was in UDP or when he was in APRC?
Kasongo manya ne mala ngarama. Kasongo manya ne mala.
Yalo ni ala lafte wanya la ke diamond le kono kabri ngakiri ne kamera mo le konyo ba ajibe ba amo ila mo ba je ngamo aka foko 2 houses le babu ngoje. Commissioner of Mamo in the house is 2 houses only for the mother. How much for the wife? How much for the mother? $1.5 million story.
Commission publicly from and I think this this may be a breakthrough into one of the myths about Momodou Sabally. Mol ba fala ko amon korda fan solo na faye.
Kabri inde so bitala nyin konna ko kasikeno commission de kabri ko mol pele effort declaration office. Pero man taraje biko mo endinnet. Bare ngalo ne ko asikeno ni Momodou Sabally nyin ka safono fentembul.
Ali alon publicly mol be wala mira ko as korda fan tabul. Bare inde fana for the first time.
Asata luas asikeno asafo mbel luas wala moto tembul cycle tembul fentembul. Bare kunung ala fa ya muta aya wafuna akai ponyawo ikra kulo hakka yake hakka wasahaka albatil inna albatil kana zahukan wala yuflihu sayf
wallahi ala fongole awanyar nyim daro because to be honest with you nyin ala fenko mo jama amira ko fenta bulu kordata bulu bari dafa nam for the first time kala video ni audio men bela ma ngamo ya fongo ba fo kan dinyo ko nyin korda ndala lo nyin bu ndala lo mbama e ngamo la ba fo kan
mbatu ndebuga la moy anala nyin coffee show ani bi mala moy because I have so many things to listen to and I know what he say when he write a statement I can browse through it in 5 seconds so but be ala fa ne ko kum suro ala fa ne bi wafuna ko nyi la moy ba ngamo two compound just for my modern ko hey ibe na fi kiale alqur'ano be block on alqur'ano kam wo dankale wandi fa afam ne moyti alqur'ano kam wo dankale na be block on atara bo amanti amu ye fam ake wa alqur'ano ke wanyar because ite banko wafinola ina de yem ko banko mo le fentambulu atara ko do men tambite block on kita million lete dollar ol nin dala sulu ol tambite me explanation on men dia man koy ina de nyin ka fo be nyala iko ilafta in camera la in secret because membe bul state secret la mo wo yow ko do dapansi nyame ina ta state secret ay bito folo banko mo le ban ibe prim para na jana iba folo jana commission is cool muna ni yete men fo na ta yow udiol bunda no video yete men fo in camera lu anata bi ko ay funti yakuya someone ko mota mo be bebe wodula mota wal ben jamula lu me in camera because aketa mo be nyala ko in camera granted tal mo men bi ye jamu ya fo mota wal men fo mota wal fa men fa afo nali ya sabana lu anyati na hey wandi fa
tijaro be kala
la ilaha illallah
no kasongo amanya ne mala kasongo boyte amanya
muna yalo akara mo la mun tati university bana wato ma watuma ate kabodan grade 12 abina dunna system okono
ndesan
Tolbe capital o kri karala nyame 1980s watuma oitol boy ifana wandi fa
elando kela mino comme un palace wala ta dro
na dindi na musinkala general da ya jame bakale secretary general duwa don don malla finni ya jame mblodi nyola
you stood a much better chance than him found ya ron ko lafta dogo la
invitational sotole manta the classroom all konon ko alay hadi yemenna al ngoto mo jang yentel invite le from the state house beauty contest al dinte school ole be mulal dindingel kina all that we are not fancy about high life wandifa omukan tol samba ninto nyati ya ten samba nola but he went with it but that doesn't mean that he's bright we can sit him down and teach him whatever he is talking about not accounting sa yalo mukudol chartered accountancy oni odi ala bi abesaji mu wankela kana ma pass no but ala economics man for hani university more be kada aina na wo fine na because ngalon ne ala weakness moment in the economics wo economics for man economics for na branch so lebje the atakadia mu nyame the mathematicals and so on isingo wandi fa lo
yalo ko pural da male ñoo dundon la al da mole ñoo lonne
londo manke tikar senti wala ite fa yolo ne tem afaneti
garama baraka no yalo mengira Sabally you are more innovative than Sabally. You have your own creations, yeah, understand it. About 20 years ago you created your own
youth artists. You know how many youths we employed in Jollof Tutorial today? You were there. How many youths we teach? How many youths we teach with our own money?
It a youth educate le. I understand. I can empower because near more currently from bele kai. So I think I'm gonna care from maybe. I don't have any.
drunk. Iko mele mufani ati kunumbi ko wala mtonyati. Shiny menkalete. One uncle radio station menka invite ika prominence jala. No, one if I lay in platform I love it. No, I prefer to tell you what I feel in my heart. There's no waste time.
And I appreciate it.
More relax. There's nothing like that. Mamadi Kurang has been investigated by Surahata Jane, Bad Kambedu and Ami Bensula and all the commissioners for 20 days after leaving the commission. So he's clear, and if they have anything which is remaining, those people can bring it. I am criticizing them every day. I'm not criticizing Momodou Sabally. Today I only have one question for you. Let him talk about his 1.5 million in camera. But those people, I talk about them.
And that 1.5 million, just to be clear, was in US dollars, right?
United States dollars, yes.
Okay. Because the Facebook live, so obviously I know where he's watching with the Facebook.
You have to yell on. You have to go online also and do research where he said, I want to give that testimony in camera. Open evidence. He must sort of request for it.
No, I can get it. I can get it. Must have known that.
Some people have all the videos. So I tell you what in camera. So if I send I have go. The answer to your send for an asking I have go in camera. Alavanta Yadira, Kiranyadi. 1.5 million. Yake boto corona, $8 ke boto corona, yake tiktak. Wabila wala Musa wal hansi papa nale banko jala ba wafila nale patio jala ba wafila.
Garo ba jalo.
Ngaku wale foite. Because mome yo kodi jama be tinki tanga yo gambe tata lori mol bet ni tenga oke bon va memala bibi tata lora mol kono ka fu mol kala fu tenin den ka kariten. Tenga lo kamera mo testimony ga ate alo na be siri anyakulo federe anon tel ka not sta.
Garo ba. Ada bangal memang pura kulo kono. Mama ni jene.
Ate alo ne kon telum kila ko sa adi kila ko nyabe tini nyobari alo nteta fulai mem. Ati sa ko lai mem.
Go ali mago kasam ko julo pile ko kasam ko sine dam ko.
Go ka wa nyadi le pepri leti kuno mana ye mutai juturu ma wutu jampi bana be bula no jole te.
Mbado wolong akere la ngasim dingol.
Inga ole boy. No ninga ya hara ika harasle ika sindi janale ndela ka bala fa ngata je yale no ika men kale te aro ne molbe oldo kendi sifal ni musum ni sifal be de kenya le ka sala ni akuma ni samanda ka si jale konko ya muta fos fowularo to madam ko fam te kada nga kachani ngambulo te abulu nga confidence di ala you understand. Because we are from the poorest background.
So ya sama nang ka sindikala time always ka bala fa no at least ka interact.
Jane commission manke otide o manke fair commission otide. Wandi fa ofana mu story dole tide. Ofana mu story dole what a beat bi moment.
Wow, okay. Dole ko Sabally is cook ngala ya cook le fo pare re cook ala.
La moy ba ya jamela man sakunda momo kuma da ye ya wala kumandi. Imam Mamadi kumandi. Kabiri Mamadi ni kuyade Mamadi investigate for 20 days. Mamadi Kani. Then no papers all. Even one transcript among film. Every document that was submitted for 1 year exactly. Not even one single paper filter. Because even that paper by paper, I set up that system and they audit me by that system.
Yeah.
My system moment set up Jana Commission. Ninga file or dealer. Every paper we count it. Every paper we count it. No lawyer can steal one paper. No secretary can steal one paper. No accountant like me can steal one paper. When I was leaving, I accounted for all the papers. All the evidence. Yalong Gambia, Equator, official communicator, Kasunyal, and so on. No one evidence was lost in Jana Commission until I left. But be need that again, kill it out like
so I have a kaitol disappear again.
Go for my right for information sort of.
Nasoro.
Ni commission pareta, Yalong Kaitol Honeyby and Tatarlaje. And new video give file upon file, whatever Apiaka. For more.
No, Jelle.
Yo, Taji, for you give for your file or Jella.
But I be another thought provoking from Coke. Bentley Ning Royce Kumol Buka.
In the plan, we will fix another time.
No, I am in complete support of you. From Fayalon Kulola Carola draw. Moto Bulahakimala. Ngalon coming last time I am being for Kawalen. Menukavo and Ninkura evidence of Anadi. You know, Kurang out of secrecy, Kuram made of Fola.
We were schoolmates. Don't look at debate in high school. Yeah, so when I was dismissed 8 years ago, he was there saying a lot of things like, I don't know what is my work. I'm a chartered accountant. You understand? I'm trained to handle papers.
Yeah.
I'm trained to know and understand information.
Yeah, but if I come Malafke Kamuru Kudo Kamera discourse, but the timeline between ila wafiro nila bayrotame because it take open tendaldi which nata jako birita bodaje restricted tendal nara if on sa for dinta describe no memo. Okay, so the timeline between ila force wafiro nila bayo man jafanyola, right?
Call for it. Hello wafiro men open tender. Men introduce. Make commission to lawyer nata konyoko da lawyer to folet.
Hani mo.
But now duta kuntura manta fumba fola.
Ibadu parliament dalmu dinol de tabaja mo kumbare mo dako.
Akonya ko lafta nyini nko akonya. Nka to lel kay tol safa akonya ha. Kayo sale kay to men safa ngabla onoma ngal ko open tenda ngata open tenda. Ni lafta nyini enaje. You understand? So what Dalilo le attended 40-something tractors washing up 10 million so maybe 154 watt they only get maybe 12 million or something or less.
No, but 100 plus tractors. You are talking about Jalu? No.
That is Yalo assets all Benjamin. You have lowest and highest. Coming, men do that ye olam coming bunkono fe on ni sol. Ni be sella santo e contractual. E sella santo e con luxury or other vehicles like Pajero ning Hyundai nyol.
Ni sol boy du mala do mané.
No go be du mala nga sele ni sol ka flow wala kam. Bunkono fe on ni coming siran le laran yeta ni sol to e boto yeta tractor to ni bo tractor to yeta motor to ning how do I call it Pajero Mitsubishi Jeeps etc. ni bo to yeta what they call luxury vehicles. Olamu Homalti Bentleys and so on.
Rolls Royce all.
Rolls Royce all. Then ni bo to yeta keba mal found to olam landed properties. So amunta bata mbedi ko wakafo yalo nyi mathematics wala ngo nyi moto nyi kisikisi no la ngo en wala ngo tol manke accountant no nyi mbuka kisikisi no yala te ko we collect 1 million. So dai ninga listo na ninga nyi listo be audit la nyi ko bebe audit la nyi bebe bola nyoto le wandi fa fente tulan nyoto ameta nyaonya yalo 8 years lam. Ko dal nga dua alliance for another 8 years la bebe sene ala
low fente la koma
low
Bad did the interview though he tried so much. By the way, let me just say this here. Listen, he was sounding persuasive. If you listen to Bad critically with a reasonable mind, you know, he was reading a script. So even his introduction, it was scripted. Okay. So you know, in substance, you can understand what Ba was doing. Ba literally made it clear he was not going to defend the Janet Commission. And to me, that is disappointing because that Ba.
Yalom baka gamen hit. Wala akate ka ko commission wasiro ke but Minsol sheriff level was commission ma was the sheriff is on the bar.
Ngaramo itala ka kumo bonni nyoto.
Lamoy tractor. When we sold that 43, they sell 153. They've just barely doing your corner. They scrap everything. All ballast stuff all level final wafi. They are on the commission, but they are all ballet staff, all penalty. They are from the bus ministry.
No, sheriff department. Sheriff department kay mo wulam. Sheriff department kay.
All of honey commission staff get them on the ballet except Mamadi. They all come from his ministry.
Okay, yeah. Okay, and what
commission staff the commission of Surahadaning Abiosening by Mas will book a fundi bunkono. It is the staff of Bar working with Ami Bensouda. That is what you call the commission.
Well, like any side visitation only and in disposal water sida.
Call for with the representatives of the lawyer and then the Bala staff may attached to the commission. That's what they call the commission. But Surahada Botamune Kalam. Surahada will never do that. His class is above that.
Yeah, more for your integrity member is too much.
No, you see me, yellow money Fanta from Board Commission, Matanga from Memol Bad Mouth. Mamadi don't do that. For okay.
Thank you, Nkaramo, for reminding them that. Thank you.
Yeah, so I know who did what. Landed properties, Umu Baleti.
Balande?
Let Bas stop I'm more stop Keja, but I will stop because I wish that Parliament can bring him. Honeymoon cook, whether they are toothless bulldog, but they can make anybody talk. Let them make him talk.
Yeah. I think that will be very, very interesting because Niage, the fact that.
Babita Parliament trying to clarify all this.
Hello? Let me see if Nkaramo did receive a direct call or something. This is possibly a direct call. My connection is saying connecting. I mean, too many bombshells drop here in one telephone, in one interview. Sabally alkalbe amoy nyame kasongo ye atele tata no but metentenal because I lado lelma meni alonko ngawol male muruta koma because Nkaramo le nat so bari nin Nkaramo man available lundro metentena Saballa fenkola while I call Nkaramo back.
This is what Mamadi Kurang himself, his position is that the Jane Commission disposed of this assets without following due process. He was part of them. He did sell some of these assets. So he cannot be a referee and a judge. He should recuse, but he is trying to gain political capital out of this. What my brother did, Bob Keita, and Bob is my brother, and Bob is my friend. Bob went into this, a protest about Jammeh's assets. All of a sudden, coming out in the open to expose a conversation you had with the president, through a confidant of the president, and your confidant and in-law, Momodou Sabally. I am saying Bob did that just to gain political capital and it's wrong. And Bob knows that the statements he put out there are false.
Just for some of you waiting on Mamadi, I think Mamadi has either network or battery issue and his WhatsApp right now. WhatsApp name message okay mo nabel line auto drong ikaja deliver. Message you man deliver. So that's an indication that he is not online, either due to network or battery issue. Nali aje diamo la starting na aba koronto murunke because alafaka diamo but also a battery constraint so like he did tell me that. So in case you are not able to hear him for the rest of this program, alsa kalamda ko Nkaramo ala la demaro do batterio kamunda aya jamfale wala network. And wobe still now in Gambia, Barola incompetence first will blame wala. So memangala, we continue.
President Barrow did not reference Usman Sonko in that statement, and Bob did not go to that Congress.
But let's talk about the bombshells here for a second. So Sabal being crib karabo membela bafula fentambul. I don't. This is look. Let's be very mindful here. Sabal a mind game or play more than this whole notion ko Sabal fentabul kordatabul fentabul. Me ano ye believe ko fendable but afon la findo ka fon telanga nyinke telanga nyillo ukita recently let Sabally Sabally was trying to play smart. Give it to him. The man was not a thief in the system. But $1.5 million and then the request to appear in camera. Kasongo, I have questions. And I think Gambians have questions. Kasongo and disappointed.
I was part of this, and that's why, Peter, I'm talking about it. I will not speak about things that I don't know. Yankuba Dabo GRA is my brother and friend for 30 years. Bob Keita, to date, despite everything, is my brother and friend. When Bob made those statements against Barrow in the media, and things started getting sour, some of us went to the president and said, Kisa Halenla, mom. And Bob agreed to work with us. Bob, in fact, at some point was asked to come and declare that he is NPP. What Bob told me is that I will not make a declaration because I never left NPP. So as far as I am concerned, up to that moment of the process, Bob was still NPP. But when this thing happened, just like people like Mamadi Kurang are trying to use this use to build up political capital, Bob came and made statements that are false. My intervention, Yankuba Dabo's intervention between Bob and the president was to bring reconciliation, peace, and Bob agreed with us. This is the fact. Any other thing that Bob said is not true. We should not use this situation and the young people to create fitna in the society. Gambia and Gambians don't deserve that. It's a messy situation. Emotions are raw. Let us calm down, face each other, speak the truth, and follow due process.
Looks like we'll have to bring Mamadi Kurang to the program before the end of the week, given the several references. If Bob Keita was trying to, make capital out of this, is that not what every politician tries to do, exploit a situation, however sad it might be?
The biggest politicians in this country, among them Khalifa Saleh, did he make capital out of this? Among them Mama Kande.
They don't all have to make capital.
No, what is happening, we have politicians and we have wannabe politicians. It is the wannabe politicians
like Bob
Keita, like Esafal, like Mamadi Kurang, who jumped onto this. Absolutely, he is. With less than 20,000 votes, you are not even in the C League, talk less of the Premier League. They all went to this to capitalize in the situation of innocent young people to build personal political power. And I'm glad that the situation has started to backfire on some of them.
How?
the response on Bob Keita's post, for instance.
Well, that's the other party responding. That is the...
No. The response from the comment section on his own post. That's what I'm telling Peter.
Okay.
I'm sure, without a doubt, at some level, Bob has regretted what he did.
And when earlier you were talking about the commission selling...
Somebody is tagging Momodou Sabally here.
Assets, you kept referring to they. Who sold?
The Jane Commission sold the assets. That's the Surahata Ami Ben Suda, including Alaji Mamadi Kurang, Batambedu and his friends. And I mentioned this, it's on Facebook. Alpha Capital.
Yeah. Contradiction of Bejam Founder. Because Bad did mention you lose assets which may at the center of this controversy will have sold in Motolu and other loose assets. Land mobile and balakaro. But I mean make folk and lose assets abe afon ba folk and ko bala boy soul. That means Mamadi for Yamuto Nyalti. Ko ba Sheriff Department Gambia being unless under the Ministry of Justice. What are we talking about here? If Sheriff Department sells something, the Ministry of Justice has something to say about that. So but Bata Medu came out to tell us you know what? Jana Commission and I cannot defend it or even speak about it publicly. You only want to concentrate on the landed properties because Alonko so none of it makes sense. But Sabally knows this and he's still, trying to
these are Batambedu's friends. And the fair-colored lady, they are his friends. They sold these assets when legally they should not have done it. Even whereas, for instance, because the law can be messy, it's legal. The prices they sold them for, it's a joke.
So how should they have sold these assets? Or let's say, what would have been the proper way to dispose of these assets if that was the final decision?
I think as a precedent, I saw somebody, a young man, and who is part of the protesters.
To be honest with you.
When the Algali Commission was set up, after everything happened, a government entity was set up, AMRC, to dispose of these assets. These people, in the first place, they should not have started selling these assets before the commission concluded its findings, because you are presuming everybody guilty, even before they had a chance for the public to hear their story. The time they started it, the way they started it, I've heard instances where a particular finance minister confronted Batambilu that one, you should not sell this. Even if you sell it, the proceeds should come to the Ministry of Finance. They refuse. It went wrong. The answer, Peter, is there is a precedent. They should have waited for the commission to end, put up the right legal framework, and sell this in a transparent manner.
Okay. Transparent manner, but Mamadi did sold tractors in a very transparent manner. For the 3 tractors, he got like about 10 million or so. But he will not mention that because I love but I meant for about the Algali Commission. You know, I am one of the biggest critics of the PPP government, but I think the fact that they were able to set up a whole government agency to look after the assets, the asset recovery process, repossession and everything, and management. Yeah, make sure they set up a new government agency to look after the assets many along Congo recover from Yaya Jame. But in this case, we left it open for the commission that was investigating to sell some so-called loose assets, and then they went ahead to do what? The landed, the fixed assets, aka landed properties. And I know, you know, some people will say we are just throwing out empty allegations, but Barrow must have benefited somehow, one way or the other, from these properties, because openly lawyer accused the co. I said South Atlantic. I property tajil at Adama Barrow. He has great appetite for property. Adama Barrow from after property la mo let us remember that. Okay? We don't criticize him sometimes in this matter because the approach is fairness. But ngalonko the appetite for property. Gambia be Adama Barrow number 1. South Atlantic ahanayo threat kuma kunta for Barrow dawa makafo ko, you know, ni fare lembe bolajan krip karab. Abe meya kamfa because Dabo spoke about the property that he owned. So the man with the biggest appetite for property in the Gambia is our president himself. Okay? So wala na bala karola. Yes, wala na ba nyanta diamlan. I have a lot to say about this. Ba nyanta diamlan. If Ba speaks, China mulka modol chodi walta findila. Because tengalon ko Adam Barrow fengo diatay. Al ngalon ko Adam Barrow vice president fulale bay. Amon fengo moyeje. So ebe mbulala ndamal wala karele karele. Batambe de diamay to nyafo. Bara feko ate karanda loyal madi aba fan defend la ani molo bi dala kaburo to name ceku abadi ngol nyanda to nyafo la ele batambe lo relative nyanda to nyafo la ele, let him speak out. Now man ngol kamen fo na kuntuta mantafo wala keta jam akuntuta la mantafo to nyafo. What are you hiding? Melu bi jemini involved te tolfo Amad Baye muneke Musa Drame muneke it tolfo. What are you being scared of? Oh, you know the lebe ICJ Georgia, you know le photo already. Ni scandalo, you not survive it, Batambedu. You will not survive it. Speak up. Say their names. We know their names. We know them. Just tell us. Just to confirm the allegations. That's it. Because we know that one way or the other, Barrow, ala Vice President Fulolmenu Baita, Ahmad Ba, Musa Drame, they were all involved. It was not just you. It's not even practically possible that it was only you who did all this nasty job. It wasn't possible.
Argument or part of the argument was the former Attorney General's direct involvement in maybe getting some of the landed properties of the former president unfrozen was because we had this huge investor who wanted to come into the country, FTI. Surely this was going to benefit, you know, some of us are not kids in this country. What kind of argument? What went below the table? How much were you given to make you to push you to make this such an emergency? Look, Peter, the law is the law. Investment into the country is guided by laws. Confiscating and disposing of the assets of Gambians is guided by the law. It is wrong. There is no justification for it.
Okay. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is Bejam post the money because that was an advert there, I think, for a minute or so. Lamin to say anytime you expose Adam Barrow, he gets mad at you. Yeah, thank you. And I think that is true. About land wrong. He was really pissed. I'm not gonna say here, sit here and say Barrow does not hate Dabo. It is for, you know, Allahu Alam. I really don't know. But I know for a fact, Barrow does not, he did not show so much dislike for Dabo publicly. But once Dabo spoke about those properties, the man lost it, literally. He was fuming. And you also know that that response was calculative because he did say that he was informed about what Dabo told him. And he said he will choose his place and time of responding to Dabo. So the specific time and place he chose was a certain date in Birkama. When NPP was holding a, I don't know what kind of meeting they were having in Birkama. He said, this was deliberate. He's gone. Ola come for, but he's pissed. Bro is pissed beyond normal. Like seriously, bring ala South Atlantic come over the drone. And believe me, that's one of the reasons why Baro don't pare kanya mansa kundabula. I can tell you that for free because Baro believe konabura je bala property be mudalabula. You understand?
For it.
Okay.
Okay. I need to come forward a little bit. Okay, let's continue here with Peter.
We're talking to Momodou Sabally. It's 17 minutes past 9 o'clock. He's here till 10 o'clock, possibly beyond 10, depends on how much we engage him. 7711599 if you have a question for him, or 9910959, or 9242424. I hear the president is building up, or the NPP is building up to a huge event later this month. What can you tell us about that?
Events.
Yes. It's not just one. Okay, I was just reading. Let me just go back to the headline. You know me, most of these things I take off the newspapers. What does this one say? Yeah. Barrow to preside over NPP resource mobilization event, May 24th. This is on the Standard newspaper.
That's just one of them. Yeah, we are doing that, but there are other events. We are also gearing up for the official opening of our national bureau headquarters. So, and in between those, there will be events that would have significant effects on the country's political trajectory. Just like what happened the other day when we had the people of Lamin Village come off.
One party opening a bureau, and that has a significant impact.
Absolutely. Opening a bureau like it has never been done before, building bureaus across the length and breadth of this country, all the regions of this country, crowning it with the headquarters. It's a significant landmark in our political trajectory.
Okay, you don't want to talk about what you have up your sleeve. Is it premature?
Well,
we know the date. This particular one that the Observer, not the Observer, whenever I think about Lamin Cham, associating directly with the Observer, it's the Standard.
I was former MD and editor-in-chief, so
I know.
It's an honor.
I know.
So, Peter, the point is, I think this is teaching us a lesson about where His Excellency President Adama Barrow wants to take this country. We must never downplay the importance of political parties in the democratic process.
Okay, Alma, no problem.
They are the very foundation of our democracy. If you have a political party with a sitting president in a ruling government, it's very easy for you to rest on your laurels because naturally you have a strength that you go with. But President Barrow is trying to make sure the NPP stands up with proper structures and with a sustainable, transparent financing mechanism so that whether he is here or not, this party can keep going on to be the fuel of the expansion and the progress of democracy and rule of law in this country.
And all these bureaus, are they owned by the party? I mean, the land on which they've been constructed, are they owned by the party? And were they legally acquired?
The bureaus, they were certainly legally acquired.
Because a lot of people are saying, I mean, this government will face bigger commissions.
I know a particular bureau. The owners were my in-laws. They sold the land to the party, and we built our bureau. President Barrow believes and lives by the rule of law.
And this is money that belongs to the party?
Absolutely, without a doubt.
This is not state money, state resources or anything?
Well, Peter, why would President Barrow want to do that?
I'm asking you. President Barrow is not sitting in front of me.
We've seen what happened to those who did that before. The lessons are clear. Unless we want to fool ourselves.
Okay.
We do things by the book. And the President, everything you bring on his table, let's do it according to the law.
Okay. All right. Anything else you would like to discuss before I start taking questions?
Well, I just want to say generally, Peter,
yes,
that Gambians, especially young people, we need to be a little bit calm. I know emotions are raw and everything. And this was one heck of an unnecessary drama. You asked for a list. You have the right to ask for it. Before the government responded, you asked for a permit. Permit was denied.
Okay, this is another important area of the program. Excuse me. I know it's not decent. But choice to jaram ko nyonko bala domani. So mengera I think Sabally youths or so-called youths are happy. Youths are happy. We all know we have seen a lot of youths many around. Some of them even joined Sabally political party. They joined him when he came to UDP. They never joined, but they still stuck with him. Like they stick with him because they like him. Okay, so we understand some of them are becoming dissatisfied and angry with him because of our position on this, and it is fueled by remarks like this. Youths are happy, but youths are getting angry now. So Kazongo, watch out.
You decided to go and protest against the law. I don't think it's necessary. This country could have been influenced by now, but thanks to sane voices, and I want to mention a few. Personally, I never wanted to get involved because there are certain individuals who I advised not to do this, and they went against my advice, and I decided to dissociate. But I know somebody like the PDOIS Nam for Serekunda, Honorable Cham, Musa, Lala Toure, the NYP Executive Director, Alaji Jayu, Mohamed Kani, and many other people who reached out, Alaji Manka, bro, let's try to de-escalate this tension. Let's make sure sanity prevails. Let's make sure peace prevails.
This was at Westfield?
At Westfield. Okay. They were calling all over. And
because we had incidents in Banjul.
This was after Banjul, when the whole thing started escalating. And we all spoke, and the authorities also, alhamdulillah, they decided to go with compassion, because definitely sometimes when you have a choice to be kind or to be right, I think it's better to be kind. So we've diffused this tension. What came out of it? The list came, it's not complete. Perhaps if there was a little bit of patience, the full list could have been published at once. But what I noticed out of this also, Peter, that people are not even mentioning, that these protesters asked for a list. The government of the Republic of the Gambia under President Barrow went above and beyond by sanctioning a full parliamentary inquiry into this whole thing that would establish the truth, and that is what we need. And my reference in this, Peter, has been always, the Bible is right, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. When the parliamentary inquiry does its job, I'm sure it will not stop there. There will be recommendations.
You trust it to say when rather than if.
Peter, the motion, I think they are even sitting today.
Yes, they are, yes.
The wheels are in motion.
Yes, they are.
And, I want to thank our majority leader, Honorable Billy Kebalang, and of course, Abdullah Sisi and others. But even the opposition have now come on board to support this after the NPP took the lead. So this is a win for everybody.
Although the UDP has cautioned its members not to accept any sitting allowances from this.
But I find it ridiculous. But that's
This is in relation to when Dabo's remarks that our MPs should not accept any kind of sitting allowance when sitting over this asset gate. Yes, but you see how impolite he can be. This is somebody who literally fed you. This is somebody who was like, Gambia Umekono, your biggest protector was Lawyer Dabo. When you were on the UDP, that was the best time for you. But it's okay. We move.
You know that their MPs were receiving allowances. Are other issues less important, like the FGM issue or other sittings? I think we need to be serious and stop making these cheap political points. I just want to commend them for joining the President Barrow-led NPP bandwagon to establish the truth and address the errata. I want to commend them for that. So now we are all on board. Where is the beef? Let us be patient. Peter, what I like about PDOIS, I will always commend them for this. What? Their insistence on rule of law and due process, regardless of the circumstances. Let us temper down our emotions. Allow the parliamentarians to do their job and establish the truth. I want to advise the young people to remain calm and to remain law-abiding, that we cannot pick and choose which of our laws we should respect and abide by. We are all one. We are all brothers and sisters. Everybody is affected in this. Let's take it easy.
Mamadi dada janna enna kasongo mpola kasongo de kakuk no yela ke grill janne Ya agree.
Let due process be allowed.
UDP was in Farafenye at the weekend, and yeah, some of the things they said there, I mean, were not charitable towards the government and President Barrow in particular.
Regarding what?
What we are seeing, the way the police handled the protesters, especially in Banjul, being signs of the country, slowly marching towards a dictatorship again.
So it's cheap propaganda. Anybody who knows President Barrow knows that he's law-abiding. He's not a dictator. And Peter, I've warned Gambians on this again on Heu on QTV. The Israelites, at least according to the Quran, used to have this food, manna and salwa, descending from heaven. And the Israelites said they don't want it. They want to plow the beans and the corns and the condiments. And, God stopped it, and then it became a punishment for them. Here also we have a situation where God has given us a peaceful, law-abiding president.
Okay, let me just say this here for those of you.
Consistently trying to push this.
For those of you many comment, I like to engage with comments, okay? And then I like to come back there, but just to remind you. Okay, I have a lot of restrictions. Okay, Almamo, family be kononye, Pagalim call be kononye. Thank you, I really appreciate it, man. Okay, I have certain words and phrases that I literally filtered on my Facebook page. You cannot just come there and say something. So we need to focus on productive conversation. Maybe I want to know what I meant for, but the F word and there is no way that will not be filtered on my page because we all know maybe Facebook will filter it. The F word you should not be able to you should not use that loosely on social media. It's not a responsible thing to do, and I'm glad it's been filtered out.
Man to the world to become a dictator. But like I said on QTV,
people are pushing him.
Absolutely.
Forces around him?
No, the forces outside mainly. A chairman of a municipality deciding to break the law, deciding to insult the president on TV, a mayor of an opposition party insinuating a coup d'etat.
Well, Almamo, I'll tell Marco no. Because actually maybe some of you who don't know, he's a councillor from Pakaliba Jar. Baro asikutola Berol Bondula, and this is not even a joke. I Berol Bondula we want to know because now my Berol Bomola because of Silodokula. So we want a comprehensive list.
This was all done here. Absolutely. Talib Bensouda at a UDP youth press conference in Manjai Bureau insinuated coup d'etat. I have the video.
How? What
Thank you, Sabally. You insinuated coup d'etat. It's not about Talib. It's from what Sabally. You insinuated coup d'etat.
Said, I don't know what was the issue going on. He said, Limo d'etat, coup d'etat, amsi dekai. What is he trying to push?
Burkina Faso la ofenke watol. Burkina Faso nyolu, Niger nyolu, o coup d'etat bekere wato mena. I remember vividly, Utamon Aibora from Adiamuda, who could out of fear, Yamuda, so from Aladiamo, Wato Kono, Wato Yalan Sabali, Sabali, but Molmanina.
Yakuba Dabo stood at Brikaman, insulted the president. Let us not push President Barrow to the wall. Let us not turn him into a monster. Regardless of whether you take my advice or not, President Amo Bany Dufineka dictator, he's a man of peace. He's Africa's most peaceful president. Why? Regarding UDP. UDP does not have the moral authority to criticize President Barrow and NPP on this Jame assets issue. When the commission was being formed, UDP was part and parcel of this coalition government, and UDP was the major stakeholder, and they were calling the shots in this government. And even by a casual look at the composition of the Jame commission, you will know that the key players are all associated with UDP.
Sabally, you cannot casually throw out allegations. Batamidu did came out and made it clear ko atamanke dabola tombo moti barola tombo e bada mamadi moy kanyana mamadi ko commission menu benu nje itole commission loose assets will me wafi the second part of the loose assets many wafi wala sheriff department on the Batamidu ngala be e batra kanena ka UDP non ni bar Sabally good luck. We like these allegations because they are exposing you ni man ke nakudo ke ngo e kalanda bar ndo fole
Batambedu, who I have criticized and I still criticize, is celebrated by the UDP to date.
No.
Today they still celebrate. He is part of them.
No, Sabally. We are on social media every day caricaturing and criticizing Batamedu. Yamole, Albe Sabally Mulako, UDP is still supporting Batamedu. What a conspiracy. Guy, what a conspiracy. This man is living at conspiracy headquarters. I swear to God.
They don't have the moral authority to criticize President Barrow on this matter. UDP should apologize to Gambians because they were part of the group that rushed with emotions, with obvious desire for revenge. That's what led to all these missteps that went through, and now we have a mess to correct together. Let us calm down.
Sabally, if it was for revenge, you would have never joined UDP. You would have been crucified. You would have been prosecuted. You would have been sentenced. Ni UDP left no revenge. You see, well, now, arguably you become the most hated Gambian, to be honest, but now I understand it, man. You keep exposing yourself, brother. I tell you.
Let us stop the finger pointing and name calling. Let us chart a path to get through out of this. And Peter, hold on. I want to say this. I believe one of the reasons that the government was taking its time in releasing this list, Peter, assets were seized. People went and bought assets. Now you're coming out to produce a list. What would be the interpretation of that if you don't do it with caution, that an innocent Peter Gomez, who had an auction and went and bought an asset, you should be careful in portraying Peter as somebody who came and did something wrong. Like my man, Nyang Jai, who was also trying to piggyback on this to create political capital. He was one of the people who bought this assets for the pittance. Range Rover for 150,000, but Nyang was complaining that nobody should accuse him. He bought papers, somebody think was sold to him and he bought it. So if Nyang thinks we should not point fingers to him, how about the other members of the list? I still remain on that position. The list should be published, but let's go with caution. Those at the receiving end, they have rights as citizens. Let's allow the parliamentary inquiry to do their job. Let's follow the law. Let's follow due process in the interest of the common good.
Don't you see any further role for the Minister of Justice in this? Okay, the Parliament will do its own bit, but what about the MOJ, where all the documents, should resign?
Should.
Yeah.
Good. I like the way you said it, because apparently they are all not there. The Jana Commission members.
You know more than I do.
The Jana Commission members have some documents. So, Peter, I agree with you actually, totally, that the Justice Minister has a role in this. I'm sure he knows his role, and I'm sure he will play his role appropriately.
Fantastic. Ready for questions?
Yes.
It's almost 9 o'clock. We are with Momodou Sabally, right up to the top of the hour. Whoa, I hope we'll have time to go through all of this. Peter Sabally is undoubtedly a very good politician, articulate and persuasive. He knows how to ruffle feathers in opposing camps with succinct, below-the-belt punches and mocking parlances that often stick and spread. However, he seems to be effective when in opposition than in ruling parties. For example, he famously called the Barrow government a Kerenkafo, meaning a group of spirits. Ask him, how does he feel today when he hears UDP loudly echoing that derogatory tag each time they attack the NPP? I know he finds another name for one of his former colleagues, Teddy Bear, but this has not stuck as the collective tag he labeled the NPP then. Also, how does Sabally feel today dining with the NPP government, which blocked his candidature for National Assembly member, but kept his fellow adversely Jani Commission mentioned person in office, in fact, in high places? Finally, ask him if, in the light of all the above, it is not hard to clean what you yourself believed and called dirty. Goodness me. I don't think I can remember everything I just read.
I remember everything.
Yeah.
I think I must commend him for his...
Kerenkafo.
I must commend him first for his lyrical dexterity. It sounds like a poem. I love good language. Yeah. Peter, I was in UDP. I know what's in UDP. I was in UDP. They said all sorts of things about President Barrow. And a lot of President Barrow's opponents actually convinced me that this guy was not up to no good, that this guy was not competent, that this guy doesn't have the interest of the country at heart. From afar, I took it. Now I came in I found out it is not true. So I regret all those statements I unfairly.
For me, this is a case of Ngamen Bevo. I'm going to drug life. Ngamen Bevo, I be mangatonya no. Sana no. Please listen again, okay? Listen again. Listen.
I remember everything. Yeah, I think I must commend him for his. I must commend him first for the for his lyrical dexterity. It sounds like a poem. I love good language. Peter, I was in UDP. I know what's in UDP. I was in UDP. They said all sorts of things about President Barrow.
But not you. They said all sorts of things about President Barrow, but not you. Okay.
A lot of President Barrow's opponents actually convinced me that this guy was not up to no good, that this guy was not competent, that this guy doesn't have the interest of the country at heart. From afar, I took it. Now I came.
It was all because he was from afar. The only disconnection here is moral values.
I found out it is not true. So I regret all those statements I unfairly launched at him, and I thank him for his patience, his tolerance, and his accommodation.
Was that the first thing you told him?
From afar, I took it. Now I came in. I found out it is not true. So I regret all those statements I unfairly launched at him, and I thank him for his patience, his tolerance, and his accommodation.
Was that the first thing you told him when you had your first
meeting with
the MPP?
Well, no.
Did you say, Mr. President, I'm very sorry for everything I said?
No, I didn't have to because of President Barrow's nature. He received me with open arms. He didn't even show me the face that this is what you did know. But after the conversation ended, and I said, Mr. President.
Well, the people who arranged, your meeting.
It was unfair. Yeah, I'm not your biggest critics. Then they believe in UDP. You are not a natural UDP member. But you know what, Sabs? Come on, the game has to be better than this. Your game has to be better than this. For a booking, you can never for no. Yeah, well, I'm going to look back on Niba for Fanyafo for no. It's a reason because for all man go Fanyafo, come over Mangatonia, Kukuyan. But the other thing for all man and Menga go, Ika phone, I came from the phone, they can't do. Somebody better know UDP for years. I can compare him before Baroma. I think I see Lunkili. What I'm a Gambia and the Gambia political, that's one thing I don't understand. You sound political talo on that day. Bibi jana sabe ite kilimo men be fo nyindol makunun be na si ko be man kata sabale okay jan science ala excuse me I don't want to bother your ears ka play ko rek but imagine you're party for years e kana si lungili ka fo ngamen be fama. It was because I was watching from afar and I made those statements unfairly against him. I regret them. Sabally Mamadu
They did a good work, then they must have told him.
No, that's not it, Peter.
No?
No. Despite all this hot rhetoric.
The man is just like that.
Yes.
If he forgives, that's it.
He's not a person who actually holds grudges. And Peter, listen to me. When I was doing all of this, President Barrow, I met him on a occasion, shook hands, we laughed and passed. On another occasion, the very weekend that I snatched my sister, who was an instrumental member of his party, Momodou Sabally, from NPP, to come and join me at UDP. And I knew that was a painful thing for President Barrow. President Barrow drove through past my street. I was standing at the gate. The minister that I knew, they raised their windows because they don't want to be seen to be interrupted. President Barrow lowered his window, raised his hand. Sabally, good morning. He's a good, decent, accommodating, peaceful person. So, based on the information I had from afar, I said those things. Now I know better. Let UDP clean their internal mess rather than pointing fingers to others. The 20 to 30 million that was misappropriated by National Organizing Secretary, let him account for that first before they ask for accountability in government.
UDP la internal problem.
That's what I said. That's part of the things I said about the Barrow government, and that is regarding corruption. There is corruption within UDP. That's what I'm saying. Let them address that first.
Yeah, okay.
Does it make sense to you? Apparently, let's even assume there is corruption within UDP. How is that even a national interest? Compared to Umbela Namo Kata Kofasol Menkono. Now there is a Mabel. Hey! Albado Nambal Vela and Intel Munzals. Halat. Alcana Nakodokasa. Be a sound take Kang and told Sabedun Damento. At the moment, I hold them will be corruption. Mashallah, Hani UDP ka kodomen soro mfawol dammal la kodolem ndugada nga fuaro la kodom nga kafnyu mangado mfawol dammal la na bol membe Italy jam menu be America menu be Angleterre wala ka kodo kafnyom ma ki Gambia UDP aba ataro nyi UDP ma any dono o shady organization soro me alango isa fo wala ka UDP so kodola UDP la kodo be mo trans Gambia politiko kono bi ni ko ala la source bon ndul nga pati yolla mena ko pati ndi wala mudi e kada bantala ka fanya dile kada ka kodo mu dana agency bul bandala men yalonko lobby group wala wala UDP could have done that but UDP match because most yata mo bembul party base bije nga kodo ka fanyom Sabally we all know Gambian any kind of explanation man foka moyle de we don't owe you nada and even on Jeremana yalong nying fong la ko nyina ko nying Sabally might be responsible for at least 1% of Gambian callers as nying kamol ne do rani ba Sabally
the bear tag, where is it coming
so you know it's funny. So the guy is saying that did not stick. How come he brought it in this beautiful poem? Peter, now guy old yalla defa def barke suma gaming lu ma wax rek mu stick motax ma dey careful. Talib ya talib la and you know unfortunately daf ko na hari na ne xawma lan la ko def boy ki xawma lan la ko def boy ma oye talib ya why is politics, you know, in Jawara's time they call him Bunja and they call Shirif Diba Chalo, so I'm old school politician.
Yeah, well,
Good morning, Peter. Can you please ask Sabally about our tractors? BCC, KMC and BAC have released statements that they never saw or received any tractor as stated in the document released. Where are the tractors?
I think they should call.
Do you know where the tractors
I think they should ask Mamadi Kurang because he's one of the people who sold these tractors, and I'm serious.
I can tell you that Sabally has regretted this. I am Kumaka member. He has regretted it. I mean, video about my life. I'm not going to fake profile babu. Because I'm live now. The moment bigger Sabally tag, I'm pretty so called cry for or maybe he's waiting for me to finish this live video. Purasa revise no. Nina takana revision on nyanta kakano only. Purune mo na ramenu join live new kone sa revise no. Because Facebook abukana automatic, you have to turn it on. So I don't know if it's on or off. I don't know, but I should have turned it on.
Let him direct question to Alhaji Mamadi Kurang, who's one of the people who sold these tractors without the backing of the law, without following due process.
Some of the text messages I will edit for language, please, so do bear with me. Let him not take Bob's statement to score political points. So you are scoring political points.
I'm not. Bob is my brother. And I said, Peter, despite everything, I still consider him my brother. But what happened in this situation with Yankuba Dabo, who is his in-law, both me and Yanks trying to bring Bob closer to President Barrow, and Bob agreed to it because Bob wanted to benefit from that relationship. Bob should not betray that trust and try to expose private conversations while fudging the facts.
Lusayon, he's turning on Bob now. Boy, Mama Sabally, but I have to tell you, you don't come across as a good person. You should not be even taking a jab at Bob for simply having a disagreement with the president and his in-law. You should just deem that as a personal matter and professionally, and just distance yourself from it. It has nothing to do with you. And I remember, I can remember for Abinafra, he still maintains Bob as his friend. He considers him as a friend. Imagine that. Boy, bro, I don't go to radio, come bass, you come a friend. Where Magana Kulumba me Germany. I would have my word. But over you in a dry land, we are trying Nimba project lobby can Jamaica, Mr. Baji, Prudinol mail, a dinol mail alongo. A can yes, you are all the more, you might help you back. I told you I accept Jara. Near the model Labino, Labino hyperactively. Ni mamanda ni manjarang kol marong ila kol son dela mak la boron so wala na mak nga nyaka so la ngofili.
That's what I'm trying to correct because I'm part and parcel of that process. I'm a witness and I owe it to the president and to Yankuba Dabo to speak the fact.
Okay, so there are two people who have now confessed that they have been part of negotiations between Bob and the president. So walatina I don't agree with certain people. Many are going to be camp killing. Mengira UDP. Don't bring in Kibaro in the Bobby Esther. Hey, Bob the president of Kadiama. Yankuba Dabo did make that clear. You see, Mama Sabally from your client. And I think I said this to a couple of my friends. Let me say this here again. I'm not saying quite a fault long, but you need to understand a lot of people, many of your origins from Bolonkona, you know, for example, Meba Drame, when he supported President Arambaro, he said deliberately, clearly, the only reason he was supporting, he told about black leave. That's it. And we have a lot of cases like this. But Bob is not one of those people. But Baroya feel like, okay, he has that tendency of, you know, falling for me politically. You understand? So he thought Bob was a low-hanging fruit, with some good following on social media, you know, and nationally Molbeal in one way or the other. You understand? Or heard about his story. So he wanted to. Baro had no interest in Bob. Let's tell each other the fact. But Keba Kolom Kala Foment are for Sangi Tangura Gambia la coming for Adol Ninchosanol and traditional betina and a lal yal betina. Well, kata social media or kata media or Kabule Ibitang, K Bitantaka, Basje, Okata Yankuba Dabolet. And as much as Dabol Mumbarnet, Angatonia for Yoe, Uncle Makekuodo, he should not have done that. Bobby Menke, I don't give a Samafu about the Adambaro Temaji. Adambaro diam la sort of 5 months of the Melanco, Unkawale Joe Praka diam Adambaro Toya. Adambaro man findiam. Diam la man findiam. Young Guadaka Finda Bobby Aldiamo Bifla, young Badao to be. Why is young Badao coming? But saying Alana Clerico, Bob Nimbaro, come in contact Benunja.
Comes to clear the air.
Francois S. Mendy, Kunkujang Mariama. We love people signing off their names so that these things don't appear manufactured by the presenter. Good morning, Peter. Sabally is one of the president's advisors. With all this knowledge that the process in the disposal of the assets was not in order, why did he not advise the president to ensure that the list was released earlier?
You know, it's just funny where he started the disposal of the assets. I was not even there. And regarding the...
You're saying you're one of the advisors. I mean, you've been advisor now at least for what? Close to a year, if not a year plus?
The list is being released. So where's the beef?
No,
we are going beyond.
Why didn't you advise the president to release the list earlier?
I'm not a legal advisor to the president. The president has several advisors. But what has happened, what I want to put on the record, Peter, is this thing of trying to get us back. I mean, we've gone past that. You asked for a list. The government released it and went away above and beyond to establish a presidential parliamentary inquiry. Let's give government some credit.
Hello, sir. Mr. P. I think the reason why the NAMs want to do this emergency meeting is to pay themselves allowances. They should have done this a long time ago. I agree with the doing a long time ago, but I don't think allowances. I mean, these people, if they want allowances, they could pay themselves allowances.
Well, don't worry about his audio. You know,
I think we should just allow people to be petty. It's a democracy. Let them say whatever they want to say. It's okay. So if those that make them happy, let them do it. Let them call the NAMs names.
Seku, let me read this comment. Seku said, I hope he will not come back to UDP again after the change of government in 2026. Seku, you thinking about 2026 after change? You think they are about Rajele? You know, science and make it NPP or Koros. Lamin Jai and his Sidinjai, Lamin Jai Diabra, Sidinjai Bakom, and Babgar Bahum, Melanco, you know, Ukarambal football mobile. You know, if Sabal attack, you see it already. Sabal will talk on that. Don't be surprised if Sabal is dropped. It's going to be another bombshell, probably. But yeah, I can tell you, Sabally is not guaranteed to stay within NPP until 2026 unless he changes his position on certain issues. Because if this protest may along Moma along Adabe Badna Damendo, Nin Sabally, you know, you have to understand the core issue behind this protest. Sabally still said he supports that. All and the list and the right to protest and all that. NPP go they don't well and democracy. They don't believe in those things. So don't be surprised if they ditch him before 2026. They can either ditch him, or force him out because somebody goes, just like any human being. But I think his is a little bit terrible. He can choose to just drop. I go NPP as a drop no anytime January 2026 because nyilba man ke kan la den la me janyol be men ke kan den sabs abe dama kelo te bayla ate bayla de.
The problem we are all facing in the Gambia is that every politician is right, and we the youths with the manpower are sacrificed for their political gains. This is somebody texting in from Nairobi, ML, obviously, a Gambia. Do you think politicians use youths when you bandy or the youths are happy around Is that using the youth rather than, reflecting?
That is inspiring, motivating, reassuring, and guiding the youth to become their better selves, as preached in my books, Jangi Jollof, Instant Success, The Way to Happiness, as taught in my seminars at the Sabally Leadership Academy, as done when I get them jerseys and footballs, as done when I go to their convocations and inspire them and teach them how to become successful. I want to go back. That I'm not done with the question yet.
Yes, this is ML.
Yes, I'm not done with the question yet. He said whether some politicians use the use. Yes, politicians like Esa Fall, Alaji Mamadi Kurang, Rahim Malik Low, who also descended on that scene. Somebody who is undergoing an inquiry, and all fingers are pointing to her, came down there to further incite the youths. Very unfortunate. So the youth should be careful of these kind of politicians.
Well,
and follow the likes of President Barrow and Khalifa.
I'll read you what ML says. The problem we all face in the Gambia is that every politician, Sabally included.
Peter, I heard that.
Every politician.
I heard that. The point is, ML and some of the youths, they are politicians too. Let him join the club. Let's be fair to the youths. I agree, ML. All of us, because most of these youths are politicians. Let us be fair to the youths. Youths, we are going to be fair to you. Hold us accountable.
We're not done with ML yet. Can Sabally please address the rampant corruption in the country and the advice he is giving to the president?
Yes. We are already doing that. You see, following the local government commission, we are exposing corruption, and we are going to punish it as championed and perpetrated by the UDP mayors from Banjul to KM to LRR. We are fighting corruption. President is fighting corruption, and we will succeed, inshallah. It's a difficult job, but we will arrive.
Good morning, Uncle Peter. Back in 2018, when the Dafadoy group planned to protest at Westfield, it was actually the same people that support this protest that were opposed to the idea in 2018. I can remember clearly a Facebook post from the current chairman at the time urged the government not to grant them a permit and even called for arrest for anyone caught.
Which chairman?
What does Sabally have to say about that?
Which chairman is he talking about? It has to be Yankuba Dabo.
I have no idea.
No, it is Yankuba Dabo. Because when the Dafadoy protest happened, which I did not support, UDP, then they were very powerful in the government. They were against it. They called these boys names. That's why Peter will never support UDP. So, Peter, I repeat, everything that UDP was saying in Farafenye, if they are pointing a finger to President Barrow and the NPP, the rest of the four fingers are pointing to them. Those in the glass houses should not throw stones.
Okay, okay, so of course, in video la segment, YouTube, I think I'll just post a full video once because they never uploaded so I cannot post multiple videos there. So Facebook title TikTok partage don't worry, it's coming from Wandiva. 90% of the job will be done. Accordingly, partage. So Sabally, you can wait for your share. I mean, WhatsApp number so because I think you deserve to hear this. Maybe that platform because now UDP platform anike by the podon dimba mic by the anike by the podon dimba mala UDP platform by the so you can find a platform for yourself. Mamadi and Menvo Bella Villa don't get the Bela bila yela kuma kawo mai 1.5 million US dollars. Ite tate iko. You want to appear in camera. You come on. You kubla kumara bagara. Sabally la response. Tili wala nyimanya neta wala. Je ko yare kana commission de ka sije ke jahdi je. No. No, jare commission, but commission manya ko kala ila witness all nak. To be honest, we mbala fala not just for Sabally but overall. I don't think they should be doing that. Name all command, police can see Paragam. Gambia, you can talk about Memphis Colley, Malafke welcome again. You are very stubborn. Very, very stubborn. You are a very stubborn kid. Imagine a coke didn't know. By the way, Memphis, not jelly. Itata for Cambodia, but I never badala somewhere. I think Cambodia is a crime because you cannot go to Cambodia without telling me. So I don't know. Ma verify for Cambodia. It looks like it, but could be. I'm blood of Namama Cambodia. No, you should be prepared for my skirmish. Service are full. Two of who can believe it. Okay, I need to do other things, and also I take it up on myself as an obligation because I have to edit these videos. I have to extract them. I have to edit them. I have to share portions where relevant to the relevant people. Okay. So mo bijang mo jamal Michael Balagala to kay mo ita muna budi la ita bagay la ko ya. Yeah, ala baraka bake. Thank you so very much, and we catch up here another time. Thank you. No kasongo vibes.